Corpbiz.
Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to you all. This is Monisha from Corpbiz, and in this video we are going to learn about copyright registration process in India. Let's take an overview of copyright registration. Copyright is a privilege given by the law to the creator of artistic works. Copyrights are protected by the Copyright Act 1957 via numerous amendments to the Act. Copyright registration protects the right of the owner over their creation, as the copyright registration procedure protects the efforts of authors, artists, and designers that as a result persuade the author-writer to create more. Copyright registration helps the author to protect the original expression of an idea in the form of some creative work, but not the idea itself. Also, it helps in preventing unlawful use of the original work and rewards creativity. So what are the benefits of copyright registration? Copyright provides a monopoly to the authors over their unique creations. Copyright registration is essential when some creative work is done, and acclamation protection to its creator is to be given legally. Also, it restricts others to use the copyrighted work for a commercial or domestic purpose, and a person cannot use it without prior permission of the owner. Copyright creates a sense of security in the mind of creator that his transcript creation is protected under the Copyright Act. The benefits of artistic copyright are public display of the ownership. With the copyright registration, the creator's work will be declared in the Copyright Office catalog and will be available to people. It creates a public display of the ownership of the copyright holder and enables him to take legal action against infringers of its creation in the court of law. Enjoys the advantage to work freely. Copyright provides the privilege to the creator-author to work freely with copyrighted work in India as well as in other countries, and vice versa. Passing on the right of work copyright. Passing on the right of work. Copyright gives the author an authority where the author can openly sell, disclose, or pass on the rights of the work to different persons with copyright protection. It enhances the reputation. Copyright enhances the reputation of the author that certain work belongs to him. Legal protection of the ownership. Copyright provides the legal protection to the copyrighted work and helps in avoiding an expensive dispute over the original owner if someone steals your creative work. It restricts to use the copyrighted work. Copyright restricts others from making unauthorized use of the author's work. If the author gets to know that someone is copying the author's work, he or she can send a legal notice to that person. Copyright registration is eligible for statutory damages, attorney fees, and cost of suit. When faced with copyright infringement, the owner becomes eligible for a suit of statutory damages. The statutory damages permits court to award special damages in case of a successful infringement lawsuit. This relieves the copyright owner from the duty of proving actual damages. Moreover, there is a huge value to it considering the proving of statutory damage over infringement is a difficult task. Furthermore, the copy owner will recover some amount for each of their infringed work. Some leverage necessary to bring the lawsuit to an early close is provided. Preemptive measure. Another one of the benefits of a copyright is that the registration is on record so that it dissuades others from making unauthorized use of your work. If you discover that someone is copying your work, you can send a cease notice. So you don't have to bother about legal proceedings at a later stage. This saves a lot of time and money. So what are the works that are covered under the copyright registration? So copyright registration can be done for artistic works, producers of cinematography films, music voice recordings, literary works, music works including any accompanying work, dramatic works including any accompanying music, pantomimes, drama, and choreographic works. pictorial, graphic and sculptural works, motion pictures and other audiovisual works, sound recordings, architectural plans, drawings and actual buildings. Now coming to what are the documents are required for copyright registration. So basic documents includes particulars of the applicant like ID proof, address proof, name, address and nationality of the author of the work, disclosure of the applicant's interest in the copyright, whether he or she is the author of the work or the representative of the author, copies of the original work. In case for business purpose, incorporation certificate is required, details of the nature of the work, class, title and description of the work, language of the work, date of publication, publication in internal magazines or a research paper submitted to a professor does not count as publication. Apart from the basic documents required for copyright registration, submit documents as per the copyright categorization. The categories are as such: artistic work. For artistic work, 2 copies of the work, DD, IPO of INR as applicable in the favor of the department according to the artistic work, author's no objection certificate if the applicant is different from the author, publisher's no objection certificate if the work published and the publisher is different from the applicant, search certificate from trademark office in trademark 60 if the work is being used on goods capable of being used on goods, no objection certificate from the individuals whose photograph appear on the front. When filing an application by an attorney, an original copy of a power of attorney signed by the applicant and also accepted by the attorney. In case of cinematographic film, 2 copies of work, DD and IPO in the favor of the department, no objection certificate from different copyright holders or copy of the agreement, no objection certificate from the publisher if the work published and the publisher is different from the applicant. When filing an application through an attorney, an original copy of a power of attorney signed by the applicant and also accepted by the attorney. In case of music, 2 copies of work, which is graphical notes, again DD or IPO in the favor of the department, no objection certificate from the publisher, author's no objection certificate if the applicant is other than the author. When filing an application by the attorney, an original copy of the power of attorney duly signed by both of the parties. In case of literary or dramatic work, obviously 2 copies of work, DD in the favor of department, no objection certificate from if the applicant is other than the author, author's no objection certificate. When filing an application through an attorney, the power of attorney as applicable in all other cases. In case of sound recording, 2 copies of work, DD, no objection certificate. Then comes no objection certificate from the publisher if the work published and the publisher is different. When filing an application through attorney, the power of attorney signed by both of the parties. Similarly, in the case of software also, 2 copies of the work along with all other no objection certificates and power of attorney as applicable will be provided. Coming to the registration procedure. So now we will be discussing the steps that are required for copyright registration, which will be step 1 to create user ID and password. Before filing the application form for copyright registration, the applicant needs to use the user ID and password for login. If the applicant is not registered while applying, then he or she is required to opt for new user registration. Step 2 includes filing the application form. An applicant can apply either manually in Copyright Office or through an e-filing facility available on the official website, that is copyright.gov.in. Here the applicant can be an author of the work, owner of the exclusive right for the work, and authorized agent. For copyright registration, an independent application must be filed with the registrar along with the particulars of the work. After login, an applicant needs to click for the online copyright registration and shall fill the online copyright registration form along with all the requisite documents. The registrar will issue a diary number to the applicant once the copyright application is filed. Step 3 includes examination of application. Once the application is filed, the very next step is to examine the copyright application. Once the diary number is issued, a minimum of 30 days waiting period is provided where the copyright examiner can review the application. After examination, the process of copyright registration gets divided into two segments. If objections are raised, if the objection is raised by someone against the applicant, the letter is sent to both the parties and they are called to be heard by the registrar. If the objection is rejected upon hearing, the applicant can ask for scrutiny and the discrepancy procedure is followed. If no objections are raised, the examiner consents to review and scrutinize the application to find any disparity. In case no discrepancy arises and all the essential documents are provided along with the application, the applicant is allowed to proceed further within the next step. However, in case of inconsistencies are found, a letter of the discrepancy is sent to the applicant. The applicant shall reply on the same, and based upon the reply, a hearing is conducted. Once the difference is resolved, the applicant is allowed to move ahead in the next step. However, in case difference is not resolved, the application is rejected and rejection letter is sent to the applicant. Step 4 includes issuance of certificate of registration. The last step is the issuance of the copyright registration certificate. If the registration step, the registrar might ask for some more information and documents. If the registrar is completely satisfied with the application made by the applicant, he will enter the details of the copyright application into the Register of Copyrights and issue a certificate of registration. The copyright registration completes when the applicant is issued the extracts of the Register of Copyrights. Now coming to what are the penalties applicable for copyright infringement. In the case of copyright infringement, the minimum punishment is imprisonment of 6 months with the minimum fine of 50,000 rupees. In case of a second and subsequent conviction, the minimum punishment is imprisonment of 1 year and a fine of 1 lakh rupees. So what are the rights of the copyright owner? The Indian Copyright Act 1957 protects the economic, legal and social interest of the copyright owner. The Act communicates the exclusive rights on owner in following regards like right of reproduction, right of adaptation, right of communication to the public, right of public performance, right of paternity and integrity, right of distribution. Coming to the validity period for copyright registration, so in case of published work, the duration of copyright artistic work is valid up to the life of the artist plus 70 years. In case of unpublished work, copyright lasts until the work is first published to a span of the life of the artist plus 70 years. As per the changes made recently, the duration of copyrighted art is same for both published and unpublished work. For more concerns or questions on working of copyright registration process in India, kindly email us at info@corpbisadvisors.com or call 98703-10368. Please like, share and subscribe to this video. See you in the next video. Thank you.